Hello the internet, welcome back to the Waifus. I am Sefhi and today I want to show you a new game that should be coming this year that right now it's running their open beta. More than open, it's closed, it's only available on the United States. You can play the game if you get the APK. Depending on the emulator, you might need a VPN or not, but you can play the game and you can spend in the game. We'll talk about this in a second already. So this is Silver and Blood. It's a gacha game that it's more akin to dark fantasy rather than the usual post-apocalyptic theme we get in every gacha almost, right? It's always post-apocalyptic, futuristic, but this time it's more dark fantasy focused around vampires. The only downside most of you will be checking in this video is that there is males as well in the game, alright? There is bosses in the character pool you can get. As you can see, I got Groot and I got another dude SSRs. I'm gonna also make a separate video on this game. And this is gonna be my first impressions on this, but I wanna make a separate video because this game took everything Nika was doing and they just changed the setting. Literally. And I want to make a separate video to showcase this because I think it's pretty funny. Like, every single thing you can imagine that's in Nike, from copying the shop one-to-one from the event, on the event shop, how the events are handled, the 160 wall, how many dupes you need, the synchro device, the daily rewards you get, the weekly rewards you get, the game modes, everything, it's Nike. But it's different enough because, well, Nika is Robotusis, and here you have vampires, right? Dark fantasy vampires. I personally love dark fantasy. I would say like one of my favorite series is Berserk. And so every time we get gachas in this fashion rather than the post-apocalyptic ones, I enjoy them. But I cannot overlook all of the similarities. And again, I'll make a separate video showing everything. Today I want to just show you the gameplay, a little bit of my opinions on the game, and how this is actually shaping up to be a decent game if the company treats it properly. And that's the big if. This game is being published by Vista Games. You might be thinking, who the fuck is that? Well, this is Moontoon, which some of you might know, right? Because Moontoon is the developers of Mobile Legends Bang Bang and all of these games that, if I remember correctly, please correct me if I'm wrong, they were into legal trouble because Riot was like, hey, you're copying League of Legends too much. Can you please tone it down, right? I might be confusing them with someone else, but I think it's them. And so this game is still up on the Play Store. And as you can see, Moontoon publishes a lot of gacha games. So you have Mobile Legends Adventures, Watcher of Realms, Mobile Legends Bang Bang, and a different One Punch Man gacha that you guys might have tried, that is an idle version, which I already played and I enjoyed personally. It's a basic auto battler, not the Crunchyroll version. So Moontoon is already a known publisher. It's just a matter of, alright, how generous are you going to be? I'm gonna put the example of the game that I've played from them, which is Mobile Legends Adventure and One Punch Man The Strongest. Those two games are quite generous. You can get a lot of characters, but you also need a lot of dupes. When it comes to their new game, right, this vampire game, you need as many dupes as Nika, 11. Now, it looks like it's only a matter of a 2% increase of stats, just like Nika. So we will see how much dupes are affecting the game or not, and how generous they become or not. I want to show you the gameplay of the game. There is, I'm not sure how many chapters there are right now. I'm on chapter 5. You can bring into any fight up to 5 characters with you. And something that they are doing different, and this is what I was saying, that okay, they're doing enough things different, is that, first of all, the animations. You have your usual visual novel style, but there is plenty of anime cutscenes that they've been showing, which I enjoy. So let me remove auto for a second. Like I was saying, right now we are on a boss, and there is a combat power deficit on top of me, so we are gonna get completely destroyed. But the characters you bring have different positions from your archer, assassins, warrior, tanks, supports, mages, and healers, right? The usual. And they will, depending on the character, as you can see, she moves forward to attack the boss. Some characters, when they start, will have different abilities. My tank is providing some grass right here, Groot, right? Is providing grass right here that will actually heal whoever is in there. We also have another healer that we could be putting on the team if we were to remove this character, for example, and she will also be healing whoever is in front of her for the first like 5-10 seconds of the match. So character skills are pretty decent for the characters. There is a lot of variety when it comes to those things. When it comes to this fight specifically, it's a big boss, but usually it's 3 rounds, as you can see on top, with different enemies, and then you finish with some elite enemies. This is the ultimates of the game. It is fully anime cutscenes, which I appreciate. And once again, similar to Nikki, you go from burst 1, burst 2, burst 3 into a fell burst for 10 seconds, which in this case is not called full burst. It's like a full moon blood or whatever it's called, right? which is just changing the theme a little bit. As you can see, 10 seconds in there. So animations are pretty nice, it's pretty decent. If you played Back to Nowhere, it would remind you probably of the game. If you played Watcher of Realms, the other game that Moontoon has published, it will remind you also about that game. The quality of the 3D models, I cannot change it any higher in the settings. So I am not sure if it will change or not. I will say that even though it doesn't look super bad, it's not looking like super high quality, at least on the environments. If you see the environments, they look a little bit worse in contrast to the characters. Characters and the animations look amazing. I have no issue with that. I'll showcase more of the characters and the L2Ds in a second. Also important to remember that this is a beta, so it's not the full release, and they are still working on a bunch of stuff. The other downside out of the gameplay that I found, and I'll showcase the rest of the stuff in a second, is the community right now. Because most of the time games do this type of beta where it's already almost finished, right? Almost finished. What you see, it's well, communities that are already preparing to launch the game pretty soon, right? And this game looks like it's finished, and they're just doing the last finishing touches to go into full release. But the community is still almost non-existent. There is basically no news. There is basically no social media. Their presence is zero. So I'm not sure if Moontoon is just preparing to launch on a Chinese market and then ignore global. Because when they use this new publisher, when they use Vista Games, this is the publisher they use for the games that they don't really care about. They have a second publisher for India and other regions where they either don't care too much or they don't want to publish under the brand Moontoon because they have a bad reputation because for other titles, like for example Mobile Legends Bang Bang. So that's my biggest right now problem with the game. It's not even a problem, it's just okay, Moontoon is making the game. I know they do make decent titles. It's just a matter of how much effort they want to put into this vampire one and how much actually they want to care about the community and the game itself, right? So I am optimistic a little bit in terms of I enjoy this game. It's an auto battler. I like the animations. I like the waifus a lot. I am not super happy with the company behind it. We'll see. I will wait until full release of the game comes out, and then after I make my second video as well, which will be next week, showing you everything that they took from Nike, which again, it's not like just one thing or two. It's a lot more. It's a lot more. It's not just, you know, the rates on the gacha or maybe a couple systems. No, like literally everything, even the daily missions, the weekly missions that you get are the same to Nike. So let's finish this level and let's go into the rest of the game, which is going to be the gacha, the rates, and a little bit of the characters that I have unlocked. So we finished the battle. We got a pop-up, of course, because we also like pop-ups. That's also something we need to talk about, and that is that you can spend money on this beta. This is a beta that you can spend money. So there is a rebate going on right now. This reminds me, as far as I know, in Europe, it's not legal to have this type of promotion where you can spend money on a beta and then get more money on the final release. And I'm assuming that's the reason why the game is not available in Europe, for me in Spain, for example, right? So I cannot spend money. I was like, okay, if there's a rebate, I will spend some. But since it's an American-only game, it's tied to Google Play, and you cannot spend money. The prices are actually quite decent for what you get, cheaper than other games right now on the market, or that similar games, right? The cards right here, they show me together. You have for $5 the normal monthly card, and then for $13 a different monthly card. I will showcase the whole monetization on the separate video so I can properly show you guys like all of those references to Nike that I was talking about. But I want to do a multi so you guys can see the rates, the gacha, and then we'll talk about the characters. We can do a multi on the rate up banner since Lamia, we already got her, but if we get more dupes, it's fine since we also need to get past the 160 wall in this game. So the banners is usually two banners, a normal banner and a rate up banner. There is a paid banner guaranteeing an SSR character. The rates are a 4% with a 50% rate. So if you go to the head out list, 4%, a lot of characters as you can see. How they look and the animations, in my opinion, amazing. I really like this aesthetic. But again, I'm someone who really loves dark fantasy more than the post-apocalyptic theme we usually get for gachas, so I'm all in for this. Of course, the biggest downside for most people watching this video, since this is a Coomer channel, right, is that there is plenty of husbandos as well. For me, it's not a downside. I don't care. I don't mind. Of course, if you get unlucky, you might be able to only get husbandos, and then you will be like, I don't want to play this game. I didn't see this girl. I love Medusa type waifus. Medusa is the Spanish word for jellyfish. So let's do a multi, enough jumping, and I showcase you the rest of the characters that I have. Multi. Hopefully we can get something good. The pulling animation is one of my favorite things. Like I was saying, the game has a lot of anime cutscenes, even on the campaign. I'm always happy for that. So you'll get this animation, depending on the color of the coffin, you know what you get. Now, red, it's an SSR. You might be thinking, why red for SSR? Well, it's vampire, so blood red, right? So when you see yellow, it's an SR. And when you see red, which we just got lucky, I need to pull only when I'm making videos. Every time I pull in making videos, I get SSRs. Oh, okay, new character. And she actually looks really fucking good. Well, she goes to the team 100%. This is a tank you get for free, which is right, I really like. And this is Sefhi, which I will put in the thumbnail. She's on my team, she's an SR, but I'm keeping her on the team because she looks fantastic. Probably the best looking SR in the game by far. After you've gotten 2 dupes, just like in Nike, you will just get basically some currency for the shop, rather than, oh, double SSR with the dupe for the rate up plus a new mummy. Well, I definitely need to only pull on gacha games when I'm making videos. Because we always get fucking lucky. Okay, that's it. That's the gacha, that's the gameplay. There is, of course, all of your usual gameplay modes, the tower, the simulation room, the labyrinth, blah, blah, blah. We don't care about those things. Again, every gacha has multiple game modes. I just want to show you the base gameplay, how it looks, the gacha, and the characters. There is plenty of good looking characters. For example, we just got Lamia, which we got the dupe. There is Groot, who doesn't like a good 3, right? There is some husbandos. There is some really good looking characters, even as SRs, right? Super cool. There is some characters that will remind you of Dark Souls a little bit, right? We have the Garlic Knight. Gathering. So I personally love this type of dark fantasy. To me, this is a game that I'm excited to play because how easy it is to get if you play Nike, and because, like I said 4 times already, I like dark fantasy. That's it. That's gonna be it for this video and for the showcase. Wanted to show the Silver and Blood game that is gonna be coming hopefully this year. There is no news on the official release date. I am sad that they're doing a rebate, a 100% 50 rebate, when the game is only a CVT announced for a month in the United States. It is what it is. Servers will be fresh when the game launches, so at least we don't have to worry about having an unfair advantage. But that's gonna be for this video. Expect the second part where I show all of the Nike systems in this game. It's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be a good one. As usual, thank you to my patrons for making this content possible. Love you all, bossos. Good luck with your pool, the internet. I'll see you on the next one.
役立たずは楽園から追放するのみ。ブランとノワールのショータイムです。天地万物を切るとはこういうことだ。